All right, in this lesson, we're going to start talking about repetition structures and what they are. So right off the bat, often we're writing code that performs the same task multiple times. And so there's a lot of disadvantages to actually having to duplicate and write the code over and over again. It makes the program large, it takes time, and as you've seen with other things that we've done, if you make a change somewhere, then you're going to end up having to go and make these changes throughout the code. It might need to be corrected in a lot of places, and you may miss a couple of them. And so because of that, we have something that are called repetition structures. And so basically it makes a computer repeat the code as necessary. And so we have kind of two different big ones. We have condition-controlled loops and count-controlled loops. So this week we're going to talk about condition-controlled loops. Next week we will talk about count-controlled loops. So what is a condition-control loop? Let me get a little bit more space here. And so for a condition-controlled loop, that is what's called a while loop. Now, a while loop, basically, how does it work? Well, while a condition is true, do something. So it's basically made up of two parts. The first part is that condition statement. And the condition is tested with a true or false. So it is a Boolean kind of thing. So condition is tested for a true-false value. Okay, and so what happens? Well, if the statement is false, if the statement is true, it keeps going back and repeating the structure. So in fact, if I wanted to look at it as a flowchart symbol. So here's our condition. Once again, remember this is kind of our if statements a lot of times. And well, if it's false, it just continues going on. If it's true, we have some statements. So it does something, and then it goes back and it runs through the condition loop again. It runs through the while loop again. So for while loops, the format is fairly simple. It is just going to be while and then some condition. And that could be, is this less than this? Is that whatever? And then we have our statements under it. So just like with our if statement, we write a statement. If it's true, it does one thing. If it's false, it just kind of ejects and goes on out. And so for the loop to stop executing, this condition has to come up to be false. So if we had something while we were saying something, and this would happen a lot, is while I is less than 15. Because we'll do things like this with counters all the time, where we're counting up to 15. So while I is less than 15, it does something. Let's just say print I. And while as long as I is less than 15, it just keeps going back, and it keeps looping and looping and looping. So this would be an iteration. So one execution of this command would be one loop of this would be a iteration. So a while loop is actually known as what's called a pre-test loop, because it tests the condition before running the iteration. Because if I gets down to 15, it's not actually going to go and print I, because it's going to go, oh wait, I is 15, and 15 is false. It is not less than 15, and so it kind of ejects out of the loop. So let's pull up Spider here, and let's do a quick little examples. So let's write a little program to calculate a sales commission. So what I'm going to do is I want to start with a variable that controls the loop. So we'll make one called keep going. And we'll set keep going equal to y. So keep going is just, a yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a loop now for calculating sales commissions. So we'll make a while loop. So while keep going, keep underscore going is equal to y. We're going to have it do some stuff. And so what do we want to do? Well, we want to get how much sales the person had. So we'll make a variable called sales. And within that variable, we're going to ask them to input sales. So we're going to float to turn that into a number. And then input, we will ask them enter the amount of sales. And I forgot my quotation marks there. So we need, we need one quote mark here at the beginning, and we're going to need one here at the end. So they will put in their sales amount, and let's ask them for their commission rate. So commission rate equals, same thing, we're going to float in an input, and that input is going to be enter your commission rate. Alright, and so once we get those two in, so we will prompt them for that information. We will calculate out their commission. Let me see. Trying to spell commission. So our commission is going to be sales times our commission rate. And so that will give us our thing. And then we'll display the commission. And we will say, so print your commission is $, and then we'll do plus str and commission. Now, I'm not going to put any text data at the other side, so I don't need to have that plus sign at all. And then I want to figure out, do they want to keep going? So we're going to keep going. So there's our variable. And now we're going to define that as their input. So we're going to ask them, do you want to keep going? Do you want to calculate another commission? Press Y to continue. And we'll put that there. And then we will, just so we know it's done, we'll just print end of program. Okay, so it's going to start, this variable gets defined as a yes. So we hit a while loop. Well, while keep going equals yes, do this stuff. So it's going to ask for sales, commission rate. It'll calculate out the commission, print out with the commission. Ask them, do you want to calculate another commission? So press Y to continue. So if they don't if they press Y, keep going will be redefined as Y. The indent's gone, so it goes, oh, I got to go check that again. It'll come up here. So let me check. Is keep going equal to Y? If it's Y, it goes, okay, and does this again. But then if it's anything other than Y, it's going to go, oh, wait, no, it's not. So it'll eject out of the loop. So let's run that real quick and see what that works out. So amount of sales, we'll say $1,000. We'll say the commission rate is 5%. Our commission is $50. Do you want to continue? Do you want to calculate another condition? Press Y. So we press Y, and it goes back to the beginning of that loop. So we're going to say $500. And the commission at that time is only 2%. Calculates out $10. Do we want to calculate another? Press Y to continue. Part of the video got messed up, but press Y to continue. Instead of pressing Y, I just dragged my hand across the keyboard. Because, yeah, we could have put in N, but it really doesn't matter for the while loop, because the while loop is looking at, is that variable Y? Now, this is also where we can sit there and we can also use our and or stuff, because we can say or, well, what happens if they put a capital Y? So keep underscore going is double equal to capital Y, and that will get us the same thing going. Once again, single and double quotes don't matter. So either of those will work. Let's just run that one final time to show that. So an amount of sales, some random number, commission rate of some random number. Do we want to do it? So I'm going to do a capital Y, and it does kick back to the while loop because we added that or statement in. So it takes either or. Either of those doesn't matter. And so we get $1 for that one, and once again, we'll just put in a random character, and it ends the loop. So key thing to remember with a while loop is it keeps checking that condition. And as long as that condition is checked, it keeps going. If you have any questions, please let me know.